year. All right, let's see what's up. I'll be right back 1 second while the coverage gets ready to go. We will play Summer Car again for after hours. If you're heading out, I implore you to watch this launch with me. Am I on Twitch? And if so, what's your username? It's EJ_SA. Same thing as it is on the tubes.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
All right.
7,
5,
6, 5,
4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
ROAD to space. Destination space. Popcorn? Goldfish, dude. One more handful and then I'm good.
Hello there, and a very big welcome as you join us live at the launch pad here at the European Spaceport in French Guiana. We are launching Sentinel 2C. It's a satellite to monitor our planet for the European Space Agency and the European Commission, and it's up there inside what we call the fairing. About 15 kilometers or so from the pad is the Mission Control Center. Teams in here going through final preparations inside what we call the fishbowl, that protective glass there. I'm Katie Haswell, and I'm here in the mission control in the commentary box with Damien Valadez from Ariane Space. Thanks for being with us, Damien.
Great to be here, Katie.
We are launching the light lift at VEGA today, yeah?
Yeah, and VEGA is the first generation in the VEGA series. Today it's its last flight before passing the baton to the upgraded version VEGA C.
Indeed, more on that to come. But first, let's go over to the flight desk now and to the CEO of Arianespace, Stefan Israel. Hi, Stefan. Thanks very much indeed for taking the time to chat with us. How are the final operations going?
Everything is going very well. All the parameters are now green. You know that to make the launch tonight, we need the basis to be ready, and the basis is ready. We need the satellite to be ready, satellite Sentinel 2C, which is ready, and we need our launcher to be ready after the final preparation, and the launcher is ready.
Good to hear. And this is an important mission, isn't it, Stefan, for Arianespace?
Yes, for sure, because this is the fifth satellite we launched for the Copernicus constellation, the fifth Sentinel, after 4 successful launches. And you know that in Arianespace we are very motivated to use space for a better life on Earth. Second, this is a satellite we launched for ESA and for the European Commission, and our mission is also to give Europe with an autonomous access to space. And last but not least, this is our 22nd VEGA, the last of the first VEGA generation series.
Indeed, and we're getting close now to launch of the last VEGA. What can we expect to happen?
Yes, so we are going to lift off at 10:50 p.m. Local time. We are going to lift off towards the north. We will have the separation of the 3 stages, and after 6 minutes, a little more, we will have the ignition of the AVUM upper stage. And after the second ignition of the AVUM upper stage, we will have the separation of the satellite Sentinel 2C at an altitude of 775 kilometers, and after a mission duration of 57 minutes.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much indeed, Stefan, and best wishes now for the rest of the countdown.
Thank you.
So, Vega on her pad, standing tall.
Yeah.
About 30 meters tall, actually. You can see just on the top left of the boards there in the screens here in the Mission Control Center, scheduled to lift off in 16 and a half minutes.
Okay, so this rocket, once again, that AVUM upper stage is made out of spare parts. I'm not kidding. The primary flight hardware for this was they threw it in the trash by accident. Yeah, no joke. That's why I'm like super intent on watching this, because the upper stage this is an untested configuration, which is okay. Let's see what happens.
VEGA heads north, and we can see its flight path actually on the right-hand side there. So the first stage will provide thrust.
It's not French. It's Italian. Avio makes it.
Separated once empty. The second stage, or Zefiro 23, will take over for about 2 minutes and keep on increasing VEGA speed.
Do I think it'll work? I hope so.
Then the third stage, called Zefiro 9, will burn for about 3 minutes. And at the very beginning of this phase, the fairing will be jettisoned as we don't need it anymore to protect the satellite. Indeed, it has passed through the dense lower atmosphere. As you guessed, the Zefiro 9 is then separated
That's right,
as well.
handsome. How do you accidentally
And up
throw a
next
giant tank in the
is
trash? Don't have
an
the answer
important
about.
step. So we've got the third stage separation.
For what it's worth, it's the tanks for that, for the AVUM. It's those tanks right there, to my knowledge, from what I'm pretty sure it's those tanks. Sorry, my brain stopped working there for a second.
We will then have done half an hour of a ballistic phase, which will lead us over Australia, where the AVUM second ignition will be carried out for 1 minute.
How long are the rocket exclusion zones? About 600 kilometers.
Shortly
down,
after,
right?
Sentinel 2C will be separated on a sun-synchronous orbit, which means that the satellite will always be in sync with the sun, allowing for consistent landing conditions for the areas observed. And the last step of this
Kuru, where
VV24
Ariane
mission
launches
is a
from,
third
yeah.
AVUM boost to reduce altitude and avoid leaving debris orbiting Earth.
Very important. And Sentinel-2C is part of the world's most advanced Earth observation system. It's a program called Copernicus, under the leadership of the European Union,
Depends on the track.
where the European
Super.
Space Agency is a co-founder and manages its space component. Day in and day out, the Sentinel satellites monitor our planet, giving reliable and up-to-date information.
Yeah, they work in pairs. It's basically twins in space, monitoring land and coastal waters. Sentinel 2A and B are already in space. 2C is going to replace 2A to continue the service and replenish the constellation.
Indeed. So let's take a closer look now at Sentinel 2C.
Yeah, guess who launched Sentinel 2B?
Tonight, the Sentinel-2C satellite, a key element of Europe's Copernicus program, lifts off on the final VEGA launcher. The satellite will enhance the capabilities of its predecessors, Sentinel-2A and Sentinel-2B, by providing crucial data for Copernicus services until at least the year 2030. Equipped with a range of cutting-edge instruments, Sentinel-2C delivers high-resolution images in 13 spectral bands, allowing scientists to accurately track changes in the Earth's surface, including in vegetation.
That's VEGA Sea Kraken. The first stage on this is not a P-120. The P-120 is VEGA C. This is just a regular VEGA rocket with VEGA C components hot-wired into the upper stage because they threw the old VEGA stage in the trash. Yeah, that's what's going on.
Just like all Copernicus Sentinel satellites, 2C makes high-quality, up-to-date imagery freely available for a wide range of uses worldwide. This data empowers informed decision-making in environmental management and policy development.
That was the Tohu Tonga
Designed and built by a
volcanic
collaborative
eruption.
effort involving over 60 companies, led by Airbus Defence and Space, it is an outstanding example of Europe's excellence in developing advanced technology and managing a large project on a multinational basis. The Sentinel satellites are part of Copernicus, the Earth observation component of the EU space programme, managed by the European Commission EC and in partnership with the European Space Agency ESA. By joining its predecessors, Sentinel-2C will contribute to delivering crucial insights for future generations.
So as we heard there, the Sentinel-2s are a great example of Europe's technological expertise as a space power and built by a consortium of some 60 companies.
This orbit Sea Kraken is going into a sun synchronous, so they're going to launch northwest out of Kourou. Yep. 97-degree inclination, launching on the ascending.
In what we call the red edge. But what's the red edge? It's a special type of light beyond the visible red spectrum. It is used to detect subtle changes in plant health invisible to the naked eye. That means that the Sentinel-2s give us key evidence about the health of the world's vegetation. It is very important for global food insecurity, and they can also help in urban planning, decision-making during emergencies, or understanding our coastal water, which is very important as we face demand for water.
Yes, indeed. And of course, Sentinel-2C is travelling on board the light launcher VEGA, as we said earlier. It was designed primarily to carry small satellites like Sentinel-2C, Earth observation and scientific payloads to different orbits close to Earth. And today is the last flight for the first generation base model, so it's kind of important, isn't it?
That's right. We launched the first VEGA from the spaceport 12 years ago. So today is the 22nd launch, and next we hand over to the upgraded version VEGA C. The VEGA program is a great example of teamwork between 10 European countries.
Yes, and of course the prime is Avio, the prime contractor for VEGA and VEGA C, and Ariane Space operates it. VEGA has delivered some very important spacecraft over those 12 years.
No.
So I think this is a very good time for us to take a look back at the highlights of her career.
4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage contrôle.
That's what it's supposed to do. VEGA gets out of the hole real fast, man. 22 launches. I'm not 100% sure. I think 3 of them have failed. No, Vega's is all right. Ooh, what's the next one? Oh, leader. All right. Yeah, brother. Yeah, COVID really hit the VEGA program pretty bad. They haven't been doing... VEGA was great until COVID. COVID made it not very good. Vettori Europeo di Gravioli detector. I think we did see some IXV there floating, yeah.
L'avventura di Vega continua.
It does indeed. The adventure continues with Vega C, which is, of course, an upgraded version.
Yeah, Vega C can carry up to 2.3 tons of payloads as compared to Vega's 1.5 tons, thanks to the 2 upgraded solid propulsion stages. It also features an enhanced upper stage, a new fairing, and updated ground infrastructures. But for now, let's set some good vibes to the first Vega for its last flight, first gen Vega.
Yeah, indeed. Good vibes coming your way, first gen Vega.
Vega.
Right
She said
now,
Vega.
at this kind of point before launch, 6.5 minutes, you can see the screens here in the Mission Control Center.
Yes,
on the
Fish.
left-hand side, everyone's looking at those boards. The green status panel.
So if everything's green there, it's good to go. When this thing goes to launch, you'll see a circle with an X in it. Okay? As long as the X follows, the circle and the X follow that line, and they stay inside of each other. The X has to stay inside of the circle. Okay? Because that's their telemetry indicator. As long as the circle and the X follow that line throughout the whole thing, we are good to go. If those deviate from each other, something's gone wrong. But the Europeans are pretty cool in this regard. They do show us telemetry. It's a kind of basic telemetry, but they do show it.
Yeah.
Which is
what
cool.
are they doing?
So they are protected inside a concrete blockhouse. This is where we get the rocket and its pad ready for liftoff. Right now, some of the teams are watching over these final important operations in the countdown. Others are doing actual operations and switching systems on and off. So
Control center or land tournament, I'll let you decide.
these are they are
man is
constantly
playing
monitoring
Galaga.
the systems in real time. If anything seems off track, they communicate and troubleshoot. The frontline teams here at the Guyana Space Center are supported by another team of experts in Europe.
That's right. They are in Colleferro. They are in near Rome.
Yeah, they are the Avios Technical Support Unit. They are also following the launch in real time. It means more brain on the job, and it's good for solving issues as fast as possible.
You can never have too many brains on the job.
Of course.
So, all very focused, of course, right now, 4 minutes and 37 seconds to launch. We're coming up to the beginning of the next phase, which is the synchronized sequence or the automatic sequence, the last 4 minutes of the countdown.
This is a crucial phase. The rocket will become progressively automated during this time. Computers manage an impressive list of operations, and the team in launch control are closely monitoring them all.
À tous et Didio, attention pour la confinal. Of course, we didn't get the audio.
I couldn't hear there, but I think we have announced the beginning of the synchronized sequence. So we'll be hearing the voice of the Range Operations Manager throughout the launch, of course. We have a fixed launch time today. We don't have a launch window. So teams have been working here at the Guyana Space Center for 2 months now to get the rocket and the satellite ready for today. We call this preparation process the launch campaign. Damien, what's been happening during that time?
So most part of Vega arrived in French Guiana on a cargo ship, and they were then transported by road to the Space Center. The PAT, the first stage, arrived on the mobile platform at the Vega launch pad and was hoisted into the mobile gantry. Next, the second stage, the Zefiro 23, was lifted and assembled on top the first stage.
Hey, Squish.
The third stage, the Zefiro 9, was then integrated on top the Zefiro 23.
Instantaneous launch
Finally,
window.
the
Hokey.
Avum upper stage was
There's the
unloaded and
tanks.
assembled on the Zefiro 9.
See him?
Sentinel 2C arrived on a new ship called Canopy, which has sails. You can see the masts.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was transported to special clean rooms and prepared in controlled conditions with operations such as the fit check. So you can
Classified,
see
Evan.
there is a technician here actually
you, but then I'd
checking
have to
that it
kill you.
fits.
I'm glad to see that it does.
Me too. Sentinel 2C was then integrated onto its adapter and moved to another building. There it was filled with propellant. The team wore special suits for safety.
So those are scape suits. Those suits are there to prevent inhaling the toxic propellants from the Avum upper stage and the satellite. The thrusters use hypergalls, and hypergallic propellants are toxic, so they have to fuel it in a very controlled environment. After that, they encapsulated the fairing, and now they're crowning the rocket right there. It's taken up on a bridge crane. There's a crane that moves into the slot. That's why it looks like an upside-down L Tetris piece. They pull the thing up, move it into place, stack it on the rocket, and then move that building away.
Now 1.5 minutes to liftoff. Right now, all the panels are green. As you mentioned, Damien, the weather's looking good. It's
go.
very hot here in French Guiana. So let's listen to the range operations manager.
T-minus 1 minute. 1 minute.
Right, we are 1 minute to launch. We're live at the European Spaceport in French Guiana for the launch of Sentinel 2C. Our very best wishes to all the teams.
Tragic.
Go Sentinel 2C.
Right. Really wish they'd keep the counter up, but all right. Okay, so what they're gonna do is they're heating up the propellants right now. They're gonna heat them up. Whenever you're using solids, you get a little bit of a heater to get the propellants nice and ready to explode. There it goes. Great audio. Okay, that's liftoff. Final VEGA launch carrying the Sentinel 2C satellite. Everything looks really good. The sound guy is clearly watching the launch and not monitoring the soundboard. Everything looks good. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to say if it. Oh. Okay, that's just clouds. All right. Flying through the clouds is messing with the exposure on the camera.
They're off. Sentinel 2C and VEGA are blazing a trail across the equatorial skies here over Europe's spaceport in French Guiana, heading north out over the Atlantic towards the Caribbean islands, burning the first 3 stages. The first stage, of course, burning now, getting us away from the gravity of the Earth. VEGA really shoots into the sky, Damien, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Plus
it does,
90
and we
seconds.
could feel the rumble tumble here in the commentary cabin. So the P-80 delivers a powerful thrust about 230 tons, equivalent to twice its weight. It just results in a very rapid acceleration. So the first stage, its mass in propellants is 89 tons, and it is made of a special material called filament wound carbon epoxy.
And we're looking here at fantastic images
Good
and
stage separation.
there of the
There's the
P80
telemetry.
first stage and switch on of the second stage, the Z23. So at this point in time, we've lost about 2/3 of our
Zafiro
weight.
23.
And we're hearing that the propulsion is nominal. So
Right
and
down the track.
trajectory is
Everything
nominal.
looks good right now.
And of course, the idea is to get rid of mass when it's no longer needed.
As soon as each solid stage has used its propellant, yes, we jettison it. So that's why we split the rocket into different stages to avoid dragging unnecessary
Slight
mass
loft.
into space.
And we're burning the Z23 second stage, Z for Zafiro, which is a type of wind, a gentle and favorable west wind.
It is often associated with bringing speed and good weather. It very much aligns with the goal of the VEGA launcher, which aims at providing reliable and efficient access to space.
Yeah.
So, Katie, it's
They're getting some slight overperformance there. It's a slight lofted trajectory, but it'll compensate for it by turning downwards towards the horizon. Everything's looking good here, though. This is fine. The Avum upper stage, when it's in internal guidance, will compensate for any over or under performance. As long as it's within as long as within a nominal range, you're good to go. We should have Zafiro 23 flame out here.
Right-hand side, 113 kilometers above the Earth, and bottom, the vitesse is our speed, traveling at nearly 4 kilometers per second.
Z23 separation.
There of the second stage,
Ignition.
and there's a short delay before we then get
Toast.
the ignition of the third stage. That's to avoid any collisions up in space.
Okay, third stage ignition. Separation la coiffe.
absolutely.
Bearing separation confirmed.
So,
And we have separation now of
Le
the
coiffe.
fairing that's been jettisoned. We don't need it anymore. And if you look at the altitude, we're
Radial out.
130 kilometers above Earth. We're hearing that the propulsion is nominal, and so is the trajectory. Everything going according to plan. We can see Sentinel 2C, Damien, for the first time. It's that gold structure at the front.
yes, so we can see the 3.4 meter long satellite attached to the Avum upper stage. So the gold part is a thermal insulation. It was specifically designed in the 50s to protect satellites from the extreme temperatures in space. And since then, it has been developed for all kinds of uses here on Earth. That includes emergency blankets, like the one you might have in your car.
Well, I don't actually have one in my car, but I know the ones you mean. They're very crinkly and noisy. And you can see there we lifted
looking
off
at
from
the top
the
left, Joe.
Guyana Space Center. The Galileo was the tracking station here, and now we're using San Jean du Maroni. And if you look at the picture there, you can see there's just one solar panel today.
Yes, it is to maximize reliability and efficiency while meeting the satellite's power requirements. So satellites must be as lightweight as possible, as you know, and every kilo counts, every little helps. And so know the speed should go just a bit under 8 kilometers per second, so we are heading toward that.
And everything is going according to plan. Everything is nominal. These images on the right-hand side are the computer-generated images. They're kind of a 3D animation of what's
Everything
been
looks
planned
okay
right
here.
now in
There's
space.
your radial
and they're pretty
inburn.
well as close as we can get to
See what I'm talking
real-time
about?
imagery, aren't they?
Yes, so our mission analysis teams plan a precise set of events, and we put that in a computer, and it shows us the behavior that they have predicted. That includes orientation with respect to the Earth and the Sun. We put a lot of effort into it to make it true to life. The satellite is modeled from 3D plans, obviously. For the
Nice, Joe.
textures of the different parts of the satellite, we use photos to try and reproduce how they really look like. For instance, the
Okay, stand by for separation on the Z9. Zafiro 9 should be approaching flame out and separation momentarily here.
Getting close now to separation. There we go.
All right, Vega's going to coast here for probably the next 20 seconds, and then we should get the Avum upper stage ignition.
speed, of course, that we're travelling, nearly 7.5 coming up to kilometres per second. So we can really start the next phase of the flight now, Damien. Our flight path takes us up north. We're heading up over the Caribbean towards the east coast of Canada. We're crossing the Arctic and back down over Southeast Asia to the west coast of Australia. And that's where we're going to be releasing our satellite.
Yeah, it's just from the Caribbean, and then it's just the Caribbean and then Canada, huh? Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. All right, you gonna do us like that?
Imagine, Katie, you're peeling an orange stripe by stripe.
I'm just going to stop you there. We've had confirmation of acquisition of signal at Bermuda. So yes, stripe by stripe.
Yes. So the Sentinel-2s peel very wide stripes. Each swathe is nearly 300 kilometers, so they can image our entire planet in 5 days.
Amazing. And we've got the switch on time now. This is the scheduled moment to switch on the engine of the Avum upper stage. We have that confirmed. This is an important moment, actually, in the flight. Trajectory is nominal, we're hearing. We've really started the next phase now of this part of the journey because the Avum has taken the wheel and its job is to deliver our passenger to its required orbit.
Yes, it must be very precise. We must release Sentinel to see on exactly the right injection orbit, nearly 800 kilometers altitude,
right?
with the correct inclination, which is 98.5 degrees. But first we have to get there, so the first Avum boost is for reaching an intermediate elliptical orbit. After that stage, we'll cut off.
And Avum means attitude and vernier upper module. Bit of a mouthful.
Absolutely. So in engineering, a vernier is a precision tool. It refers to the precision required of the Avum, which can deliver satellites at different orbits. So it needs to perform satellite fine pointing before separating it. That is why we need liquid propulsion. It allows for more precision maneuvers than powder, because powder is more suited to provide raw power.
Indeed. One of the features of the Avum upper stage is that it can actually restart its engine. And for VEGA, the first generation model, this one that we're using today, that's up to 5 times. But for VEGA C, it's even more, isn't it? And I know this is important, but just can you explain to people why?
It allows the Avum to deploy different payloads into separate orbits, much like an elevator, stopping at multiple floors. It's a big advantage of the VEGA series. Not all launchers can actually reignite their upper stage. So today there is
.4 kilometers a second. 300 kilometers in altitude, downrange 2,700 and increasing. Everything looks okay here, guys. I think this thing's got it. We're all right. 10 minutes in, everything's looking good. You guys are saying nobody looks happy. Yeah, they're just European. So they'll be happy when it's in space. Oh. Mission director is doing this. Now, guys, if you've never covered a launch with me, whenever they show pictures of mission control, if you see someone doing something is not right. 1 or 2 people, no problem. But if like 3 or 4 or the mission director is doing that, hands on face usually means something is very wrong. That's your telltale sign. Dead giveaway. I don't know what he saw, why he's doing that, but everything looks good. I'm watching the top left box up there. That's actual telemetry. This is just an animation. And the track up there. Those 3 boxes up at the top are yeah, good. We should have an acquisition of signal through Montreal. Actually, I might be able to see this thing. Might be a little far away, but it is pretty high up.
The info to the Range Operations Manager, the DDO. in the mission control room.
Hey, Zan, what's going on?
The range operations manager is responsible for announcing the confirmation of major events such as stage separations.
I was
engine
thinking, like, if
cutoff,
there's an
and
acquisition of
successful
signal through
payload
Montreal.
deployments.
So they're doing very, very important work there.
Absolutely, and everything is still nominal.
If you're in Maine or
You
New
might have
England,
noticed the logo
handsome,
for the
yeah,
city
maybe.
of Sevilla in Spain on the fairing of the rocket, and that's because this year Seville has taken over the presidency of the Ariane 2024 Community of Cities in partnership with Airbus Defence and Space. It was set up in 1998 to strengthen cooperation between people involved.
All right, I'm
in
gonna go
space
take a look.
industry.
I'll see what I can
Let's
see.
hear
I'll be
now
right back.
from
One
the
second.
Mayor of Seville, Jose Luis Santos.
Gotta take my phone. Picture, it didn't happen.
En 2024, la ciudad de Sevilla suma la presidencia de la red de ciudades Ariane, formada por cerca de 20 ciudades y otras asociaciones empresariales europeas vinculadas a la industria aeroespacial. Sevilla se convierte en la capital espacial europea. Hoy somos un referente siendo uno de los principales hubs del sector aeroespacial europeo, epicentro de la industria espacial en España. Y para su celebración, Sevilla está desarrollando un amplio y diverso programa de actividades técnicas, culturales y educativas. Este gran programa es fruto de la colaboración público-privada y con la estrecha cooperación de Airbus, nuestro partner en la presidencia, pilar fundamental de la industria espacial nacional. Además, está involucrado todo el sector aeroespacial sevillano, junto con otras entidades públicas y privadas, miembros del Foro del Espacio, que representa una importante industria con más de un siglo de existencia y consolidada, con compañías representativas como pueden ser Alter Technology, SolarMens o Catec.
Way too far away.
Es todo un honor que bajo nuestra presidencia de Ciudades Ariane se celebre el vuelo inaugural del Ariane 6 en el Puerto Espacial Europeo de Kourou, en la Guyana francesa, símbolo del posicionamiento e influencia del sector espacial en Europa. Este proyecto servirá para atraer inversiones a Sevilla, para proyectar internacionalmente su tejido empresarial y para captar fondos de proyectos europeos. También nos ayudará a difundir entre los sevillanos los beneficios que reporta la actividad espacial para Sevilla y nos ayudará a posicionar la ciudad como la gran ciudad tecnológica e innovadora del sur de Europa. Desde Sevilla, capital espacial europea, nuestros mejores deseos para Ariane 6 porque sus éxitos serán buenos para Sevilla, para España y para toda Europa. Muchas gracias.
Sí. La ensalada pica
That
mucho.
was hearing there from the Mayor of Seville. It was great to hear from him. And just a quick word to let you know that we seem to be having a few difficulties actually hearing the range operations manager today. But Damien and I are receiving the information directly from the CVI, who are getting the telemetry from the tracking station. So we're giving you our confirmations that way, and Damien is able to confirm things.
Absolutely.
Back to our satellite, it's an important one. Our world is changing.
¿Quién se fue a Sevilla perdió su silla?
Increasing, and cities are expanding. And some of the biggest challenges
La
are meeting
mesa.
the growing demand for food and water, keeping people safe, and forming strategies to address climate change. And looking down
No,
from
they don't
space
manufacture
is
it on
vital
site,
for planning
Greg. You order it
sustainable
like any other
future,
chemical,
which is
dude.
why Copernicus, along with Europe's
Just comes in a regular
satellite
trailer,
positioning
dude.
system Galileo, are key components of the European Union's space program.
Galileo.
Let's just talk a little bit now about some
Galileo.
of the applications for the information from the Sentinel-2 satellites.
Yes, so we talked
Galileo
earlier about
Figaro.
how important the Sentinel-2s are in giving new insights into the world's vegetation that's important for land use and food production, for instance. Say you are a farmer, you might use satellite data to decide how much water or fertilizer to use.
Those are forest
it can
fires.
also be very much useful in planning how to respond in an emergency, such as floods or volcanic eruptions. So, for example, you might remember the fires in Greece this summer. We can actually see them on the screen. The wildfire near Athens. So a massive one erupted on August 12th. And this Sentinel-2 image shows it. So you see it uses a natural color combined with shortwave infrared to highlight the active fire fronts in red and the burnt areas in dark brown. The fire, driven by strong winds, produced a smoke cloud extending over 300 kilometers towards Libya, covering parts of Athens.
Absolutely terrifying. The Sentinel-2s can also help manage water resources, as we mentioned earlier, and not just for drinking, but also for agriculture, energy and sanitation. And that's because they can measure the health and changes to water bodies, and that's whether they're lakes, inland, for example, or on the coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see here some coral bleaching in Florida. So in July 2023, just a year ago, record high sea temperatures were recorded around Florida, and they soared more than 2 degrees Celsius above normal, causing widespread coral bleaching in the Florida Keys. So the Sentinel-2 image
Unsynchronous fish.
shows the affected area near Isla Morada. Thanks to data from Copernicus, scientists can monitor these rising temperatures and their impact
Isla
on the
Morada?
oceans.
Purple
We know
Island?
that all the parameters are normal. Interesting, the Sentinel-2 can also help in predicting malaria outbreaks, but it can also help us understand animal populations.
Yeah, you will never guess what's the last image. It's a penguin colony discovered in Antarctica. So the Sentinel-2 satellites, with a resolution of 10 meters per pixel, offers a detailed view of our planet, leading to discoveries like these new penguin colonies.
Same vibe for Abe and Flameout.
So it's an image from November 2016, a colony near Cape Gates, Antarctica. And it was not detected, funnily enough, by the penguins themselves, but by the large brown dropping stains, also called guano, that they left on the ice. So it helped scientists track this.
Guano! Yeah, we're looking for piles of poop from space.
Next phase now, Damien.
Guano! That sounds so familiar. Yeah, droppings.
Coming up at 18:30, here we go. That's what it looks like up there.
Yeah, and we've got
We have
confirmation.
confirmation, yeah, indeed. So why are we switching the engine off now?
You realize that the great white bat has great white guano. That's what you slipped in. That's what was on your shoe, and that explains the abrasion on your palm. Let me run that back for you. Skirt me, that skirt me, that skirt me, that's it, that skirt that. That's what you slipped in. That's what was on your shoe, and that explains the abrasion on your palm. Damn, I'm good. Sorry. That's what that was, though. They were looking at piles of poop. Yeah, that from space.
Like this, it's always the result of years of teamwork.
No, we hit up and flame out, guys. They're good.
Relationships are made
fine.
and friendships are made. Space Team Europe
Pretty
is
hot
an
in these
initiative
rhinos.
led by the European Space Agency, and it aims to bring people working in the field of space under
Guano
the same
balls.
umbrella, with no
Like the
barriers
whole
or
set.
boundaries between companies.
I got a really stupid question. You could see the South Ice Cap on maps, but not the pole, because Antarctica is land. It's not just an ice cap.
La gestione operativa di tutte le attività di integrazione
Ah.
e di test del lanciatore, nonché tutte le attività di preparazione del lancio. Attività che toccano diverse discipline, diversi perimetri, come ad esempio quello meccanico, quello fluidico, quello elettrico, avionico, e quello che noi chiamiamo di parte alta, che è la parte superiore del lanciatore, quella che è in diretto contatto col satellite.
Oggi sono direttore di stabilimento di Avio Guyana a partire dal 1 agosto 2024. Avio Guyana è un'azienda che opera all'interno del CSG dal 2020 con la responsabilità di mantenere le infrastrutture del sito di lancio di VEGA nella sua piena efficienza e di coordinare le integrazioni del lanciatore VEGA e VEGA C in sinergia con la casa madre.
Donc moi je fais du CVI,
Forza
qui
Vega.
veut dire du contrôle visuel immédiat, ce qui signifie qu'en temps réel, pendant la mission du lanceur, on va suivre un certain nombre de paramètres de ce lanceur, les analyser et fournir une synthèse de ces analyses vers le centre de contrôle à Jupiter pour le directeur des opérations, mais aussi pour la direction d'Ariane Espace, la direction du CNES, la direction du Prime
Hey,
Avio,
Squishy, why don't you do me a favor? Shut your
leur
friggin'
fournir
mouth.
les informations qui vont leur permettre de se rendre compte si le lanceur se comporte normalement.
The work of the program manager consists in managing the programs, in this case, in my case, the VEGA-related programs, both development and exploitation accompaniment, along their lifetime. The lifetime
Hold
of
up.
managing the programs
Your name is La Franconi, and you talk like that?
in in this case, in my case, the VEGA-related programs, both development and exploitation accompaniment, along their lifetime. The lifetime of a program starts with the definition of the program proposal, the submission to the Ministerial Council. It is a matter to manage day by day the activities, to accompany the activities to their successful.
Wait a minute, why is this guy getting subtitles? Hold on. Why does he have these subtitles?
Conclusion,
I can't understand you.
taking always in mind and respecting the programmatic objectives, which are cost, schedule, and performance and technical requirements.
Sono responsabile sicurezza ambiente e SOGGUARD. Mi occupo di prevenzione e di gestione in tempo reale dei rischi lavorativi. Il mio ruolo consiste nell'assicurare il rispetto della normativa, valutando i rischi connessi alle attività svolte e di assicurare la protezione dell'ambiente, delle installazioni, ma soprattutto dei lavoratori. In più mi interfaccio con le autorità francesi e del centro spaziale.
We're going to take a short break now during this coasting phase and cut our microphones.
Well, I don't know, Jeff, has it? I must have missed that. Red card. I don't know, Jeff. I don't know.
Because the most important part is coming up.
It is indeed the separation and releasing of our satellite. So we'll be back just before 11:40 here in Kourou. That's 3:40 in the morning Greenwich Mean Time and about 4:40 Central European Time. See you then.
Katie Haswell does a great job. She's a great commentator. Okay. All right, it's making the way over the North Pole right now. Yeah, flagging. The reason why the North Pole is not like there is because it's not land. North Pole is actually it's ice. Right? Antarctica is not an ice cap. It's land that just has a lot of ice on it. Does that make sense? Sure reminds you of a good parade commentator. Yeah. No, dude, the accent is ace. Very professional. I dig it, man. Dig it. It's an ice cap on land. Yep. Yes, these Europeans are spying. They are spying on Santa Claus. They want to take all the presents. Not on my watch. You filthy French big dogs. Can you believe that? 25 minutes. It was in South America. Now it's up over the North Pole. This animation is reminiscent of the Santa Tracker. It is a plethora of ice. Commentary at 48. I'd have to say that they're in the clear. Guys, yeah, Frank and Vega worked pretty well. I'm going to stop my coverage for now, and we're going to put a nice bow on this stream. So, yeah. Good stuff. You guys want to play Star Trekker tomorrow? You guys want to play Star Trekker? You want to play Star Trekker tomorrow? Yeah. All right, cool. That's what we're gonna do. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Where are your subtitles? I don't need subtitles. Why do I have subtitles? I speak perfectly studied English at the bloody American Embassy in Cairo. All right, we'll do Star Trekker tomorrow. I'll get us ready to go. And so we got Star Trekker, then space news, and we got to continue with our My Summer Car escapades. I have to make it back to the house with all the food and stuff. Because you're from Boston. Shut up, you Delmarva parasite. You wish you were us. All right. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the Vega launch coverage. I'll see you guys all tomorrow at noontime. And yeah, Star Trekker space news, and, you know, summer car. Hopefully we don't get addicted to that game. I'm kind of worried about it, but anyway. Hey, I'm from Del Mar, but no, you're not. You like Taco Bell. Anyway, it's a quote from Basketball. All right, so that's going to do it for me, guys. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good night.